days or so since I did a live. So just kind of checking in. We're in the kitchen once again. So right now, I'll show you what I have going on. So I have some grits going. They still need a little time. And then I have some beans going on, some northern beans. Slow cooking. I have my fire down like super low. Let me see if I can get that like a little lower. I just put the lid on it. There we go. I got the flame down just barely. Those are going to cook all day. And then I have some water going for some rice. Let me turn the camera around. Now I'm going to get my measuring cup this time because I always, when I make rice, I always go overboard. So I'm going to do 1/2 a cup of rice. And so I'll show you how I have my rice stored. So the front one is my sugar because I'm always making Kool-Aid. Then I have flour and then rice. So we're going to get in here and get a 1/2 a cup. See if I can get it without spilling it out with those other measuring cups on there. Just a 1/2 a cup of rice out of there. And I'm going to just pour it in this water. The water you see is boiling. I got these containers right here from Sam's. Let me do it. And they really are pretty awesome. And I'm going to just shut that. And it keeps any vermin out, and it's right handy. So I try to use, you know, right next to the stove. There, got the stove, the window. And they're kind of tucked up out the way. I can open up my deep freezer fully without having those there. So just out the way. So I'm going to move those measuring cups. I'm going to just stir it with a fork and not a spoon because I don't want the rice to stick to the bottom of the pan. I hope a 1/2 a cup is plenty. We're going to just have a little bit of rice with the beans and rice. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, but I always go overboard when I make my rice, and then I have to add more water and all of that kind of stuff. And I like my rice to be fluffy and not waterlogged. And then with my grits, I'm just going to add like I'm going to rinse this one that I had the rice, the measuring cup that the rice was in, because they're the same, similar grain. I'm just going to add just like a 1/2 a cup of water to my grits. They're going to expand. I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to stir. So I need 2 hands handy. And so I'm just going to rinse that off real good. I'm going to put that back where it was. Okay. So I'm just going to fold that water in because I want my grains to be, and it's quite a bit of grits there. And so if I find that I have too much grits, we can have that grits with those northern beans. I'll show you my beans. I'm going to stir my beans after I get this grit stirred, the water stirred in. I'm going to just add a little bit more water in my grits, and they'll expand. They'll absorb that water, cook down. But I just want to fold that in. Sometimes I use milk. I went to the grocery store and I got everything but milk. So these will not have any milk. I do have some evaporated milk or something like that, but that it'll be okay without it. I'll put some butter in there and it'll just be fine. So I know it depends on the part of the world that you live in, but some people, they like just salt and pepper in their grits. Well, I'm the kind of girl that likes sugar and butter in her grits. Even if I was eating them for dinner, I would still add sugar and butter. Even if I was going to put a little bit of cheese on, I'm going to eat some of that sugar on my grits. So comment below and tell me how you eat your grits. Do you have salt and pepper, or do you do the sugar and butter? I treat them just like I do cream of wheat. I do love grits, but I'm gonna need mine to have some of that sugar and that butter in there. And I will, even if I'm gonna have them savory, which I hardly ever do, I'm gonna still probably add a little bit of sugar, of course, in my grits. That's like eating oatmeal without any butter and sugar, or butter and honey, a little sweetener. I'm trying to reduce the amount of sugar that I'm eating. So I'm gonna turn my phone around so you can watch me stir these beans, because I haven't stirred them in a minute. So what you will find is there is no meat in my beans. You wouldn't know, because I use chicken broth in there, onions. I mixed up a nice amount of garlic cloves in there, and then I use 2 bouillon cubes in there. So that's gonna add a lot of flavors. I have a niece. She might come over later, but she doesn't need pork or beef, and so she'll be able to enjoy these beans. If I had smoked turkey, I would. I do have some turkey from Thanksgiving left over, the dark meat, so I could put that in those beans. I'm gonna think about it. Because that's still, for me, that's the same type of meat as a turkey neck. So what do you guys think? Do you think, comment below, do you think I should put the dark meat from the turkey? Because I deboned my turkey and I used the white meat for chili that I made, which was really delicious. We ate some of it and I froze half of it. Then we had the rest of it for last week. And then the dark meat, well, I did put that in the freezer. Let me see. So here's and to me, that's just the same meat from the turkey, the smoked turkey neck. So what do you think? Do you think I should put the turkey meat in the beans and give it a little bit of flavor? It's a dark meat, so I would think that it was gonna have some nice flavor to it. The beans are just, maybe I will. The beans are just, let's see if I can break that apart, hitting on the counter. Just a little bit for the flavor. Some people have to have meat in their inner beans. And so I'm gonna put a nice, this is a dark meat from the turkey from Thanksgiving. And so I'm gonna put 2 nice handfuls of that, because I wanted some turkey necks. I was watching this lady, she was eating some beans and she had put some of that turkey in there. It was turkey necks, but it was giving. So I think I'm just use half of this meat and put it in that turkey. I mean, in the beans. And that worked out. So here we are, still using Thanksgiving meat. And I have like a nice little corner of it. So it's not sitting in the freezer like all year, but it's just still around that time, around Thanksgiving time. So I'm gonna put that back in the freezer. Meat is very expensive. If you go to the grocery store, everything is high. So, you know, I was doing my best to kind of use that whole turkey. It's a small family household composition in my house. So that gave us the opportunity to work on that turkey without getting tired of it. I'm gonna check on these rice, stir that up, make sure. And that's just very little rice, but hopefully it expands. I only wanted just a little bit of rice. My niece, 2 of my younger nieces are here. My niece's daughters, I guess that makes them my second niece. Is how you call them, but they're my nieces, so we don't get all into the numbers game, but whatever. So they probably will want a little more rice. I'm not sure. But we then have grits. So if I need to make a little more rice, I do want to use, I have a rice steamer, and I've used it just like twice, and it was unsuccessful because I had my water to rice ratio off. But I've watched a couple people make rice in a rice cooker. So stir the grits up real good. I turned the heat off on the grits because I don't want them to stick to the bottom. I'm gonna just do a little quick taste of the grits and see if they're not gonna be quite creamy because I didn't add any. Let's see. Well, okay. They were, I had spilled some water out on the grits. When I was stirring it. And so I was doing some bootleg version trying to wipe up the grits. So, so they didn't, it's hard to clean cooked on grits up. So I was trying to do it without making a mess, cleaning the grits mess up, and I turned them off. But I still was able to add that water to it and absorb it. So right now I'm taking my towel. I took the eye off so I could clean it up. And then try that again. Just turn them on for a little bit. But really, technically, you can eat them. They're still a little more grainy than I like them. They could expand a little further, but even now, as I'm wiping this grits mess up from where I splashed the water when I was stirring it, because I could use a bigger pot, or I could have used less grits. I was just eyeballing it. And I need to stop eyeballing like the grits, because then I had like a whole big pot of grits, and really, who's going to eat that? So, like I said, we could have the grits with the pinto beans. You know, like instead of rice, because to me it's the same grain as rice. And I'm gonna make some cornbread here in a second as soon as I clean this grits thing up. I have some Spam going in the air fryer. I know a lot of people feel some type of way about Spam, but comment below and let me know if you guys eat Spam. I like Spam, and it's really, really good in the air fryer. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what we've got going on in the air fryer right now. Okay. See, that Spam is looking pretty good, nice and bubbly and caramelizing. I like to cook them a little bit thicker. If you do them, say I have like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop that. Look at that. Nice and caramelized Spam. And you see all that fat coming off of it. And so because that is coming off, let me I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm gonna pour that extra grease off. And see, normally I keep my like spaghetti jars or what have you, so I can pour grease off into it. Get my glove, and then I'm gonna grab this and pour that extra. Look at all that fat on the Spam. So I'm gonna pour that out, because if I don't pour it out, it's just gonna reabsorb back into the meat, and nobody here needs all of that fat. Okay. I'll show you how much grease came off of it, of the Spam. Can you see? Look at all that grease. That's a lot of grease that's 2 cans of Spam, and it's still more grease that wants to come off. Okay, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the grits on top of my grits. And so I'm gonna take a plate. I'm gonna use a glass plate. I'm gonna say that these plastic plates for the girls to eat off of. Off these nice plates. And here I'm gonna put a paper towel on there. And let the grease. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. And I'm gonna set this grease, the grease. I'm gonna set this Spam on top of there to drain any additional grease off of that Spam. Look at that nice thick and caramelized. I dropped a paper towel. I'm gonna grab another. I'm holding the phone and then doing this, so okay. All right, and tear that off of there. So there we go. And we're gonna get it from the middle, and it's nice and caramelized. I don't know, that one looks like it could have stayed in there a little while longer. I like it not crisp. If you make them see that one, actually those are still a little bit wobbly, and I'm going to just set those. I'm gonna put these back in the air fryer and give them a few more minutes, because I like mine to be not crunchy but not wobbly. They're thicker because I like them a little bit thicker, but they're, yeah, I don't, but see, I still got all that grease off of it, which is good. And once I cook them, I'll see if any more comes out. But I'm gonna just set these back in the air fryer, because when I touch them, I just like them a little more firm. And I'm just see how they do with those extra few minutes that I had left. And if I have to restart them, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with going to cook them again. And then now I'm checking on the checking on the rice. Turn that camera around. I'm stirring the rice first, because that's not going to stick onto the thing. If it's too much water, that's fine. I'll pour the water off of the rice and then let it steam a little bit. It's getting to be a little more translucent. You can see those rice grains. And I'm gonna leave a little, one or two on a spoon. So I'm gonna pour the water off of that rice, because I use quite a bit. And then I'm gonna check on these grits here for a second. Okay, see, I cleaned that up. That grits mess. It's easier to do it now than later. And I'm gonna add just like a half a cup back of water in those grits, because I still need them to cook. I used too small of a pot. That was a whole cup of and see, I'm gonna fold that water in, because before I got to stirring it, and that's how I made that big mess. I was not folding it in. And really, these are my three main pots that came in a pot set. So I have other pots, but you know, I don't want to have to go downstairs and get it. So I'm kind of working with what I have. So yeah, I did use too many grits in here, and we're not going to eat all of them for breakfast, but I definitely would have some with my beans. And okay. So put you guys down here for a minute. Here we go. Turn that camera around. And now I am going to pour this water off of the rice. And I like to, when I'm pouring hot water down my drain, I like to pour the cold water down, because I had a PVC pipe that I don't want no problem. So I'm just going to leave just enough water in there so this rice will steam. We don't need I'm just leaving just a little bit of rice in here. A little bit of water in my rice. This is so light. We could use way more rice than this. If I need to make some later. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm turning this rice all the way down to low. I'm gonna take the lid off the beans and give the beans a quick stir, because I did add that turkey in my beans. It's not smoked turkey, but it's the turkey from Thanksgiving dinner that I put in the freezer. So it's the dark meat that's in my beans that I added. I actually could have used that whole bag because this is a nice amount. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get the rest of this turkey out of that freezer and put it the rest of the dark meat in the rest of the dark meat in his beans. So this is the last of the Thanksgiving turkey. I used the white meat for a chili that I made. It was really delicious. And now I'm using the rest of this turkey for these beans. I don't have any turkey necks. I might have like a turkey leg, but none of it is smoked. So adding the rest of that dark meat turkey to my beans in place of like a turkey neck. And so we'll have some meat up in there. It's gonna be so good. Yep, I can't wait for these beans. I've been wanting some beans for a long time. These are northern beans. I thought about pinto beans, but we'll have pinto beans the next time. So I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna start this Spam back up because I know that I want it a little more crispy. We're having a Spam with that turkey. Now I'm gonna check on this rice, and that rice is steaming. And I actually am gonna turn the rice off and just let that lid cook on there. I'm gonna taste the broth from the beans to see what it's tasting like right here. I'm not gonna go over my thing, but see. It has a really good flavor. I didn't add any salt to it yet, or any pepper. I'm gonna salt and pepper them once these beans get a little more tender. But I did add several cloves of garlic in there and a nice big handful of minced onions that I chopped up. I keep a bag of onions. I chopped a big onion up last night, and I usually keep a chopped up bag of onions in my refrigerator, so every time I don't have to cut an onion, I eat quite a bit of onions. So whenever I can, and then I can reuse my bag, my Ziploc bag for my onions. And so what I'll do is I'll just put them back in the refrigerator, and then because I go through I'll easily go through this fast. So, and I'm gonna sprinkle some raw onions on top of my bowl once it's done cooking. So I'm gonna rinse this spoon off because I'm using this big good Bennett spoon for everything. So I'm about to turn these grits over and check those out. So I think we're just having I don't know if I have any canned biscuits. If I have canned biscuits, then I'll do some biscuits, so we can have biscuits, grits, and that Spam. That's a good breakfast. I didn't buy any. Yes, so I do have a can of biscuits. So once that Spam is done cooking in an air fryer, I'm gonna pop those the biscuits on in there, and we'll have biscuits and grits and Spam. And I have to remember to pick some biscuits. If I do have I like those flaky biscuits, and you can pull them apart if you want to. Those are my favorite. And the honey biscuits are even better. They charge a little extra fee for the honey biscuits, but they're so worth it. And I can get like the store brand. I don't have like a favorite brand of the flaky biscuits. I'll get those just about anywhere. And so my grits are stirring pretty good, and they're pretty loose. So I'm gonna just taste them to see if they're expanded enough, cooked enough. Still quite grainy. So I'm gonna let them. I have them on super low. Now you can keep adding water, or you can add milk to them. The milk makes them creamy. But the stores I went to Sam's, and then a couple places. I don't know. I didn't buy any milk. Went to like about 3 stores and didn't buy any milk. So we don't get to have creamy grits today. We could. I have evaporated milk and carnation milk and powdered milk, but we're gonna go with this one at this particular time. And I have the grits on low, and there's no hurry. And I spilled just a little bit of grits out my pot because I just added that additional water to it, which is gonna cook down. The water is gonna evaporate out. It's gonna cook out, and then it's gonna give the grits a little more room to expand. And see, I thought I'd add enough grits in there. Grits, I had to find out what the ratio of the grits are. So I'm going to give these beans a stir because I had these northern beans going, and I added the dark meat from my turkey from Thanksgiving in there. And I am going to make some cornbread too after I get I really didn't want to turn the oven on, but I think I will, so I'm not just standing around here. I can get that cornbread going. I'm going to preheat my oven for the cornbread. I like Jiffy cornbread. And evidently a lot of people do because it's pretty popular in the stores. I'm getting the mixing bowl out. Because see, I want to get everything done so I can just chill later. So I'm going to do 2 boxes of Jiffy cornbread. While I'm waiting, I might as well get this going. There's no need in not. So that's 1 box of Jiffy. And then I'm going to do, damn, I don't have any milk. So now I'm going to be forced to find a milk solution. Okay, my milk solution, when you don't have milk, you can use sour cream. And so that's what we'll be using because I don't have any milk for, well, I have evaporated milk, but I don't feel like going downstairs to the pantry to get it. We're on live. We're going to do it this way with the sour cream. So that can be a substitute for milk. I've done it before. It works. We usually have sour cream, which I didn't pick any up from the store. We go through sour cream quite a bit. And that's why it's good to have other milk options in your house. I think I have shelf-stable milk downstairs, but we're not doing that today. So I'm breaking up the clumps of, I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm doing it in a sink. So, you know, breaking up any clumps of cornbread, any firm ones. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, and so something else I'm going to do. I'm going to add at least a half a can of this corn, if not the whole can, in my cornbread. It's so good. That way to have some corn up in there. And I'm using a manual can opener to open this corn. Alright, and I'm going to rinse that can opener off and put it over here where it can dry because we don't want a rusty can opener. So here's the corn, and I'm going to pour all the juice off of this corn. Let me see if I can set you guys over here where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm pushing that lid down. I'm getting all the juice off of that corn because I don't want to make my cornbread too wet. Okay, so I'm pouring, you know what, pouring that whole thing on in. This Ziploc bag can't be reused, so it's my instant trash can right now, okay? So I'm going to add 2 eggs because each box requires an egg in the cornbread. 2. I'm using 2 eggs. Okay, that's 1 egg. And that's 2. I'm not an egg lover. I'm chasing that little white thing down. Okay, got that one out. I don't like eggs. But it's a necessary evil when you are baking. It binds it together. So I'm going to get a clean spoon for the sour cream. So I'm using this in place of milk. And I'm getting a... because we're going to... I'm not going to use all of it. I'm not going to use it all. So I like to keep that lid on there. And I'm going to cover it up. So I use probably a good cup of sour cream in my cornbread. And I've done that just as an extra creaminess to it. But and I've used it before when I didn't have milk, which I don't have any milk today. So I am going to get out my, add like 1/4 of a cup of water. Just to stir that in. And I'm going to stir my cornbread with my corn up in there. We're going to get it to the pancake batter consistency. If I need to add a little bit more water in there, I will. But because I have that sour cream in there, that's going to be, it's like a concentrated milk, basically. That's how I look at it. I'm going to add another 1/4 of a cup of, so that's 2/4. Okay, now it's coming together. Nice and creamy. So look at that. And remember, it's a can of corn in there. And that corn is going to also add moisture to it. So it's not going to get, dry. So I always keep out some jalapenos. And see, everybody likes Takis and all that kind of stuff. I'm just add a little bit of jalapenos in there. I could have chopped them up, but I'm not, so I'm gonna save this juice. And actually, I'm gonna pour a little bit of that jalapeno juice up in my beans for a little bit of flavor, not for the heat. And this jar needs to get, I only have like a little corner of it left, and so it's gonna be good. So I'm gonna stir that up in there. Here's a big jalapeno. I'm gonna just cut that one with my, not with my spoon. Okay. So my cornbread is nice and creamy. Some people will, I'm gonna grease my pan because I don't want no trouble. I'm gonna stir these grits real quick. I'm gonna actually, turn that heat all the way down. So my oven just let me know that it's preheated to receive this cornbread. I'm just stirring these grits from the bottom to make, because they're sticking to the bottom a little bit. And we want to release that because we don't want them to start doing anything Just making sure they're not stuck on the bottom. Okay. I'm going to rinse that off. I'm using this spoon for everything. So I'm check this rice. The rice is off. See? It's a little more cooked than I want it to be. But okay. Let's see. It's not fluffy. Let's see. This is the rice. I used to do so well with the rice. Okay. But okay. It's good. It's going to be okay. I'm stirring these beans around with this. I'll turn the camera around so you can see what we're working with right now. So I put a couple of them jalapenos in there. And you know what? I'm going to pour the rest of it in there just to finish that jar off. So that's that dark meat from the Thanksgiving turkey. I'm going to turn these grits off because it just popped me. Okay? We don't need no trouble. Okay? So we have that. Them beans are doing really well. They've expanded. They shouldn't expand any more than that. I didn't measure it. I poured till the ancestors told me to stop with the beans. I had a large bag of beans. I'm going to just pour the rest of these jalapeno juice. Just a little bit of jalapeno in there. And that adds a nice little layer of flavor. And so that jar is finished. Okay. That's going to add some good flavor without adding any heat to it, really. And if you run up on a jalapeno, it won't even have any heat because it's just so little in there. I'm going to taste it, though, the jalapeno, the bean juice. I haven't added any salt in there. I heard that adding that salt in there. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be so good. Adding that salt in there while it's cooking makes them tough. Okay. Now, I'm stirring those in. I'm going to rinse this spoon off, so if I need to stir something, it's going to be there. Oh yeah, I'm going to use this for the cornbread. Remember, I had this cornbread that I'm about to put in the oven. I'm going to grease my pan. I'm going to give that one more good stir. That cornbread. Nice and good consistency. I did put corn in there. And some jalapenos. Alright, let me grab the oil. You know what? I'm going to just use some margarine. I don't feel like going through a whole bunch right now. And I moved my oil to a place that we don't have to go to today. There we go. This is the pan that I'll be making the cornbread in. I'm going to give it a nice little coating in this pan of cornbread. And I like to leave my butter out, one stick of butter out in the thing outside the refrigerator, so I have a soft, like whenever I want to smooth up some butter, those Spams is looking real good, nice and toasty and brown. And that's why I like them a little bit on the thicker side, because if you overcook them, they won't be like the bacon crisp, which I do like crispy bacon. I just don't like it to be overcooked. So this is what I did with the margarine for the cornbread. Keep it from sticking. We'll have time for that. So I'm going to pour this mixture all into my highly greased pan. That I use margarine because I have bought some margarine one time. I forgot to get butter into my whatever. I'm using the last bit of this margarine up. I'm not gonna waste it. So I do have butter in my refrigerator, but we're gonna do margarine on the top of it. So whenever we can, we'll use this margarine up, which, like I said, this is the end of it. This is the first time I bought margarine since like out years. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do till you can do what you wanna do. So patted my pan so my cornbread is even in there. And I'm putting it in the oven. In the middle rack, middle of the stove. I'm gonna rinse this cornbread bowl out right now. Rinse my spoon off. And then I'm gonna get this Spam out the air fryer. And you guys will get to see the rest of the oil that came up off that Spam. It looks like there's quite a bit of it. If you let the Spam sit in there, that grease is gonna reabsorb back into it. And we don't want that. We're trying to cut down on the grease. Even though that Spam is not good for you, we can have it with this little amount of grease on it as we can. I'm left-handed, so we're gonna do this safely with the left hand. Okay? And oh my goodness, look how much more grease has come. Look at all that grease on that Spam. And I'll show you the bowl that I'm pouring it off in. So this is the grease that I initially got off the Spam. And so here is the rest of it. As much as I can get off. Look how much grease. That's two cans of Spam, guys. Look at that, nice and golden brown. I'm gonna set this on top of my thing. I'm gonna carefully, so look at that, that's much better. This is how I like my Spam. I don't like it jiggly wiggly. So look at that, nice thick piece of Spam and not jiggly wiggly to the fork. And I like them a little bit thicker, so you have a nice bite to them. If you cut the Spam too thin, it's gonna look like this, which is not bad, but we want I like the thicker Spam, like this, nice and golden, and then you still have it meaty but a little caramelized and crisp on the outside. So I cut them a little thicker. And they're gonna be really good. We used to have, when I was growing up, we would have beans and some Spam. And it was so good. Now people, a lot of people don't, because it's not really that healthy for you. But it's a good budget friendly meat that you can have if you feel like you need that meat. And it's shelf stable. I'm not doing a commercial for it. But see, it's still oil from it's still oil from the Spam on this cooking tray. And I'm not going to wipe all of it off because I'm going to put them biscuits on there. Put them biscuits on there. And I have an already greased pan for my air fryer. Because I'm going to just do some canned biscuits. So we're having grits, Spam, and some biscuits for breakfast. And these are the Great Value flaky biscuits. I like these a lot. I like the flaky. So it doesn't really matter the brand. I go for the Great Value because they're substantially cheaper than the Grand's biscuits. Grand's biscuits used to be really reasonable. So gonna pull that off. And then bust it wide open, baby. We're gonna lay these out on the air fryer sheet. You don't put the foil on it. You lay them on down. Okay. So I'm gonna just turn the camera around. Okay, so these are the biscuits that we're gonna be doing. The pan is, I can touch it. And you know, you want the, not at the bottom rack or they'll burn. You want it on like off the rack when you're doing them in the air fryer. So this is touchable. I'm just gonna place this in my basket so that keeps the heat up off of it. And I'm gonna do bake. And it's like 12 minutes left on there. And so that should be sufficient for some biscuits in the air fryer. And so I have this margarine. Now this is the last, I think this is the last bit of my margarine. And so I'm going to just do that whole half a stick and put that on down in my grills. And I'm going to stir that up. We'll just put sugar in it on everybody's own plate. And so that margarine, normally I cook with butter, but this is the last bit of margarine that I have. Let me just double check and make sure. Yeah, the rest of it I bought butter. Let me just, and I'm gonna take this stick of butter out and I'm gonna put this, replace it with my butter dish because I like softened butter. So if I have any toast or where it requires me to spread some butter real quick and thin, it's hard to spread a hard stick of butter. And this is salted butter, so it's gonna be okay not being refrigerated. So I probably do use more butter than I should, but I just slid that right there on there. And then I'm gonna get these things and put them in the trash real quick. And look, this is the grease. Look at that grease from the 2 cans of Spam. Is that crazy? And I still, I'll show you guys this. So this is the Spam that I did cook. I like it nice and toasty and firm to the touch and not that jiggly. But look how much grease came off of it. And you still can see some grease when you move them off of there. So I'm going to just turn them over and give them an opportunity to drain the rest of that grease off of there from the other side. Because I never did turn them over in the air fryer. And look at that, how shiny that is. That's all that grease from the Spam. But they're going to be really good. See if I can turn my camera around. So, and then this is why, like with these jars and stuff like this, so I don't pour it down my drain and I don't have to put my trash. I can have that jar now to pour off old grease in there. And I have to remember this is Spam grease. I'll see it because it's going to solidify. But I can use that to do that with. And then I usually use my paper towels like twice. And so if it's not to wipe my hands off with, I can have a paper towel for, you know, this right here. So I'll have to get like a nice new paper towel. I could use like a paper towel. I watched that show where it's Extreme Cheapskates or something. And they have some stories to tell. So I don't want to be an extreme cheapskate, but conserving is, you know, what time it is for everybody. I have plenty of paper towels, but I don't want to waste my paper towels either. So, well, anyway, I'm stirring this margarine up in here. So even though my grits don't have milk in them, they sure are gonna be buttery, or margarine in me. Okay, whatever you want to say about my grits, margarine, butter, but they're nice and thick and nice and buttery. And so if I use these grits with my my northern beans that we're gonna have for dinner, that's fine. But we're gonna eat them with our grits and our biscuits for breakfast. It's still it's 1 o'clock. So I mean our brunch. And the biscuits are in the air fryer right now. I didn't realize the time that went by so fast. But we have dinner is ready. We're gonna have a smoked sausage with our beans, beef smoked sausage, and then we're gonna have. I'm gonna make some Kool-Aid here in 2.56 seconds. Bean smoked, beef smoked sausage, northern beans with turkey in there, and the dark meat from the turkey, and then I have some cornbread going in the oven. Right, so put this spam over here on the table out the way, and see, here's the paper towel that I had before. I'm going to finish wiping out that spam grease out of my bowl so it doesn't get my dishwater all murky or my drains jacked up. See, dinner is gonna be cooked. The only thing I have to do is, like I said, is the smoked sausage. And I'm about to make some Kool-Aid right now. I'm washing out the Kool-Aid container. We have apple juice, but we're gonna make a little bit of Kool-Aid just because we need stuff to drink up in here. And I'm gonna wash up a couple dishes. It's always good to have a little bit of dishwater going while you're cleaning the kitchen up. Just a little bit. Let's give these grits one more good stir. I'm gonna stir this rice one time just to fluff it up. That rice isn't good. It's not fluffy. I gotta get it together with my rice game. This rice, it didn't burn. I didn't rinse it off. I just poured it off, so I'm feeling like it's starchy, but I'm not tripping. I'm gonna stir my beans one more time, and they're cooking super low, just to move that flavor around up in there. It's garlic cloves, fresh garlic cloves, fresh onions in there, chicken broth, a little bit of jalapeno, a little jalapeno juice, and I used a carton of chicken broth in there, and then I used a couple chicken bouillon cubes in my northern beans. I stirred that up good. Now I'm putting my spoon in the water so I can wash it, because I'm going to use the same spoon, but I'm just going to wash it, because I don't want my Kool-Aid to have any margarine or any of that on there. Yeah, so now what we're going to do, this is my Kool-Aid container. we drink quite a bit of Kool-Aid. I have a little kid. That watermelon Kool-Aid is just okay. So we're gonna mix that with watermelon and green apple. Give it a little extra flavor. The Kool-Aid, the watermelon Kool-Aid has a really mild flavor. So we're gonna mix these two. I never mixed that combination together before, but today is the day. I think the green apple tastes like that candy apple. And the watermelon has like a really mild flavor. So we'll see what those two taste like together. And I like to pour a little bit of water in the Kool-Aid thing. Usually I put my sugar down first. That has a really ugly color together, okay? But it is what it is. My sugar container, I keep it in the kitchen. This is how much sugar that I use for a pitcher of Kool-Aid. That's like 2 cups of sugar. So I like to usually use a little bit warm water so I can dissolve the sugar and the Kool-Aid. And I give it a good stir to let it dissolve. I don't fill it up, just the Kool-Aid. This is how much water is in that. And that's an ugly color Kool-Aid, but it's probably going to taste good. And so I'm stirring it up to dissolve the sugar and the Kool-Aid in there. So when I add the cold water, those sugar crystals would have already dissolved, and you can taste the sugar throughout the Kool-Aid. That's that watermelon and green apple together. Not bad. So I'm going to use, and I'm stirring as I go. On my big spoon, I'm making the Kool-Aid. So it's all dissolved down up in there. I know everybody knows how to make Kool-Aid, but some people have different techniques in doing it. Okay, so I am going to be the taste tester. Let me grab my glass. And put a little bit of ice. We have an ice maker. I'm going to taste some of this Kool-Aid. I am very thirsty. Ugly color, but I'm putting a lid on the Kool-Aid now. This is some Kool-Aid, green apple and watermelon. Look at the color. Ugly color, but let's taste it. It tastes good. They tone both of the flavors down a little bit. It's good. So I'm gonna check on the biscuits. I'm gonna take you guys over there with me so I can take a look at these biscuits here. Oh, and it just went off at 12 minutes. They rose really good. They're firm. They're not jiggly in there. And I'm gonna take them out of the air fryer. These are the northern beans with that turkey meat in there. These are grits. Right there is some rice. I'm gonna put the lid back on the beans. I have them on like super low. I have a cornbread in the oven. 12 minutes. So it's been in there for a minute and it hasn't done anything yet. So not exactly sure what's going on with my cornbread, because it probably needs a I did a little extra to it. It hasn't even risen yet, so I have to remember that. So that's what we have going on right now. I'm gonna put this Kool-Aid away. But actually, what I can do is I have 3 little girls. I'm gonna get their cups for Kool-Aid going. I have 3 pink cups, so we're gonna use the 3 pink cups so everybody has the same color cup. We're gonna put a little bit of ice in there. A scoop of ice for everyone. They're being very patient about eating. They smell the food going though, so they know that I'm trying to get it together. So I'm gonna just go ahead and pour the Kool-Aid on that because they're definitely gonna want something to drink. I'm just gonna give everybody a little bit. And see, it's an even amount. Let me do a little. That's enough, because then put too much in there, then they're like, ah, I need some more. Okay. I'm gonna pour the rest of this. Fill up the water for the ice. So now I'm gonna make the plates to have the Kool-Aid going. We'll move that over there. So we're using plastic plates for the girls. We're gonna have a Spam grits and the Spam, the grits, and the biscuits. I'll show you what the biscuits look like. They're nice and golden. And they rose good. I cooked them in this air fryer. So everybody will get a biscuit and some grits. So getting them out now. And they came right off the air fryer tray perfectly the way we needed them to. I'm just giving them a little bit of grits. The grits are very, very loose. Loosey goosey, baby. But okay, they're still getting them. They're done. I added that butter in it, and the butter made them a little bit on the thinner side. So that's what the grits look like. I'm gonna give them like a little scoop and a half because they get full fast. Okay, and then that's the grits. I didn't add any milk to them because I didn't have any milk. I could have turned them on a little bit more. And that's the grits. Just a little scoop and a half. Because they like to eat, but I bet you they want 2 pieces of that Spam though. I'm gonna start them out just with a thick piece. Everybody gets a nice thick piece of Spam. How about they get a thick one and a little one? See, sometimes my little girl be like, I don't want to, you know, so I just start them off with one. Everybody get the same amount. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar in the grits. And I know some people are like, yeah, sugar in the grits, but that's how I was raised, is sugar in my grits. And I know my little girl likes sugar in her grits too. You can only know really what your parents taught you. Okay, there. And I'm gonna stir them grits up for them. And see, when you add that sugar, they spread all the way across the plate. They do. But such is life. They could have had a bowl. I'm gonna taste it. Okay, it's good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of syrup on their, just a little bit. I'm going to open up their biscuit and put a little bit of syrup on everybody's biscuit because I know everybody likes syrup. I like jam, so I'll probably put, I think I had apricot jam going on in my fridge, and I do like that apricot jam. So I'm going to have apricot jam on mine, right? Put the lid back on the sugar, and I'm going to put this syrup back. You see, everybody has their place in the dining room. I just put a tablecloth on my table, and because it's white, and because I don't want it dirty, I'm going to take the tablecloth off, and that makes life easy. This is called the ounce of prevention. I have a project. I don't want it's not white, it's cream, but I don't want it jacked up just right now. So I am going to do that. Boom. Take the tablecloth off, and when I'm ready for the tablecloth again, I'll just put it on there. And so then I don't have to worry about cheering, how you say cheering, messing up my good tablecloth and me having to be frustrated because they did. So keeping it simple. So everybody's getting a spoon for their grits. We have these silver spoons, and silver spoons tarnished. So I'm putting this is what their plate looks like. So everybody, let me turn this light on. Girls, everybody's getting a plate. Everybody knows their regular seat of the house. Everybody sit in a regular seat. Okay. Everybody in their regular seat. Everybody have a regular spot. So it is what it is. Okay. Does that look good? Some grits, some Spam, and some and then everybody has a Kool-Aid. I put everybody's same cup, same amount of Kool-Aid in their cups. Okay. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay. You're welcome. And these are my little nieces and my little girl for breakfast. They've been waiting patiently for their breakfast. And for me, I am a little bit hungry. I'm going to use a bowl. Okay. And I'm put everything in my dinner bowl. I love those bowls. It's deep, and you could use it for chili, whatever. Soup, salad. I love it. And I'm going to use 2.5 scoops of grits for me. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar in my grits because I like it. Okay. I'm going to show you what my bowl looks like. Does everybody have a spoon? Okay. So I'll eat mine. Show you what mine looks like. I'm going to plate mine up. I get 1 biscuit as well. I'm going to open mine up. And I'm going to put, I think I have apricot. I just cleaned my fridge out. And so I'll probably, oh, here it is. Okay. Apricot jam. Was that preserves or? Preserves. Apricot preserves is really good. Okay, thank you, baby. I'll put a little bit of that on mine. What kind of jam do you guys like? Leave a comment below and tell me what kind you like. I wouldn't have ate these when I was a little girl, apricot, but however it came about, Apricot is very good. So preserves. Put those back. And I'm gonna give me a nice chunky piece of Spam. Okay? Here you guys go. Can you see it? Those grits are good. Not too sweet, but sweet enough. And then here goes some Spam. Grits on there. A Spam is salty. Bacon is salty too. Okay, let's taste these biscuits. That's so good. Apricot preserves on a flaky biscuit. Have some grits. And then some Spam. Oh, good. I spit. Oh. You'll be okay right now without it. The biscuits brown nicely. Has grits on there. I know some people don't like their stuff touching, but this isn't one of my issues. That's so good. That Spam is salty. It really is. I don't add a lot of salt to my food. I try to add more seasoning than salt, but I bought the high sodium, the regular Spam. They had low sodium. Actually, guys, this isn't Spam I like. This is a luncheon meat, which is very similar, but it seems like it's higher in sodium than Spam. I do have quite a bit of Spam, but you wouldn't know the difference. You wouldn't know the difference. It's just a different brand. It's very salty, though. I put quite a bit of apricot on my thing. I normally don't like soggy bread. And this grits, once I added the butter and the sugar, it got way looser, so it's okay. But it's good. The grits, I took my time cooking them. I have biscuit on there. And here's the grits. For the pot, they're thicker because they've been sitting. But once you add that sugar into grits, it causes them to loose all the way up. I like it in there. So now I'm trying some of that grits with some of that Spam in there. Mm-hmm. That balances out that sodium. Mm. I only need one piece. I'm really full already. Mm. And I wasn't taste testing the food. I'm gonna check on the cornbread. Cornbread is taking a long time in my oven. I'm feeling like look, this is what it's looking like. I'm gonna brown it in the air fryer because the air fryer ain't playing no games. I'm just turning my oven off because it's playing around. It didn't rise very well in that oven. I need a new oven, really. This one has served its time, but I'm so used to air fryer cooking. Now I hardly ever even turn my oven on. Or some grits or some spam or some biscuits I made for breakfast. It's like brunch really. And then we made some northern beans with some of that dark meat from the turkey I had put in the freezer right after Thanksgiving. And then some cornbread. And we might have I don't know if we're going to do the smoked meat. Because it was, I mean, I'm going to sit down. Yes. Yes. No, it's not. I gave everybody the same amount. Eat it. Or you're going to be hungry in a minute. Eat your food. I only put a little bit of grits on everybody's plates. You got 1.5 spoons. And then you're going to be wanting a snack in 5 minutes. You're going to be hungry. Okay, guys. I will see you guys later. I'll do a plate. We've been on a live for a while now. So when dinner time is ready, I'll eat a bowl of beans and cornbread with you. See you next time. See you soon. Bye.